What's up, Fortnite gamers? It's XDR here to bring you a brand new video. We recently hit 400 subs, which I never thought would happen because, honestly, me being the person I am, doesn't really attract very many viewers because I'm kind of just an asshole. But y'all seem to enjoy the content, so I'm gonna keep fucking making it. Now, this Phoenix guide is going to be more in depth than probably any Phoenix guide on YouTube right now. I've went through and looked at some of them, and they're pretty fucking underwhelming for the most part. So I'm going to try and break down all of his abilities, the amount of damage his abilities do, the time they last, and the healing effects that they have. I'm also going to give playstyle tips at the end of the video. So I will put timestamps in the description. So if you don't like certain parts of the video or you don't need to know them, just go ahead and skip ahead because I'm not going to be mad at you if you skip through this video. It's made for educational purposes. I want to educate Phoenix players on how to fucking play this character so I don't keep getting flashed. Okay? Stop flashing your teammates. Stop flashing your teammates. It's that simple. Please. Please stop flashing your teammates. If I'm going to peek an angle, don't whip out your fucking flashbang right as I round the corner and throw that shit while I'm in a gunfight. Please stop doing that. Like, I'm a Phoenix main too, and I do this sometimes, but like, it seems like when I'm not playing Phoenix, the Phoenix players are literally going out of their way to flashbang me. Alright, let's get started. So the first ability we're going to go over is Hot Hands. He throws a fucking fireball at you, you burn in it, it lasts 4 total seconds, it does 215 total damage at 53.75 damage per second, which is a lot of damage for a 4-second ability. This ability also heals you for 45 total health, so really not that much, but if you are low on health, you can use this, and you can also use your Flame Maul, which also heals you, and that will heal you up to full pretty quick, but you are using a lot of utility to do that. So there are 2 ways you can throw this. You can fucking yeet that shit with your left click, and that will ricochet off anything, or you can also fucking underhand it like a fucking 80-year-old grandma. Now both of them ricochet, but there are practical uses for both of them. So if you need to, say, ricochet something really far, you can just do that. And if you maybe just want to underhand it so you can walk into it, you can play it like that as well. Now it takes 1.7 seconds to land if you throw it straight up with an underhanded throw, and it takes 2.5 seconds if you throw it overhand. Now you won't be making any like Sova fucking arrow shock plays, but this can be useful in some scenarios, so do with that what you will. Okay, so some things you can do with this. If you know there is an opponent behind this wall, you can easily ricochet that, and you can flush him out completely. He has no choice but to run out of this corner. It's a really good incendiary grenade, and it has multiple uses. If you want to peek an angle and you kind of want to catch him off guard, what you can do is you can fucking underhand this shit so they think you're just cutting the angle off, and then you can swing into it so you'll have a slight healing buff and you'll be taking a fight. So that is one thing I like to do when I throw my firebomb. You can also cut off angles like that so you don't have to worry about that for 4 seconds. So if you know there's people down there and you're trying to get your team through, you can throw that and y'all can just push this shit and maybe leave someone back here. So this completely gets cut off. So it's a very useful ability. Instead of actually using it tactically and flushing opponents out, you could just heal. And it's still a very solid use for the ability. Given it's only 45, but that 45 can really fucking save you in some situations. Next we have his Flame Maul, which costs $200 and you only get 1 charge of it. But this lasts for a total of 6 seconds and does over time 230 damage. Now this shit also heals you for 69 healing points. I don't know what made them come up with this fucking number, but you heard it right, 69 health points, which is substantially more than the Flame Ball does. So you can curve this wall, and depending on how hard you actually flick your wall is how hard it will actually curve. So if I were to flick extremely hard to the right, it's going to curve a very hard right turn, almost a 90-degree turn. Same goes, curve it to the left. So say there's a person in this corner, you can literally cage him in like a fucking caged animal. Now given a lot of players like to walk through these and just shoot you in the fucking back, so keep that in mind. But you can cage this fucker in like an animal for 6 total seconds. That is a lot of time to be stuck in a fucking flame cage. Now it can get stuck on props like this, so just keep that in mind. If you accidentally hit it into a wall, it won't go through it, it'll just get cut off. So that's very important to know, because if you're stuck in an angle and you try and wall and you do it wrong, it could clip the corner. not like that, but it could clip the corner, and it might not even wall the extra area you were trying to wall. Also know that when you are healing or standing in your fire, specifically the wall, it obscures your vision completely. You can't see anything. So keep that in mind if you decide to heal. Make sure you're in a pretty safe spot, or just stand on the edge of it. When I heal with this thing, I just stand right here, and I still get the full effects of the healing, and I can still see what I'm trying to see. So with this wall, a couple useful applications other than caging people off are when you need to actually take a site, you can cage off a whole side of the site, so you don't have to worry about a lot of specific angles. If you're walking in here, you can literally wall this whole side of the site off for 6 whole seconds, and your team can literally funnel in. It is extremely useful in that regard. Just know people will generally spam through these, so it's not 100% safe, but it's basically like a big ass smoke wall that it just fucking covers up everything, dude. It's honestly insane. It's a really useful ability in that regard. Also know that the fire will come directly out of you. You are the starting point of where the flames go. So if you want to wall off this side, just know that there will be a gap here if you're standing here. Because you're standing here. The flames come directly out of you. You're literally secreting the flames out of your fucking body. So just be aware of that. But one final thing you can do, if you say you need to wall this off, there are ways you can kind of one-way this or give yourself a little angle. So this is a bit extreme, but sometimes there's a tiny gap in it that you can literally just sit behind with an op. And it's not necessarily one-way because they can see you, but they expect this to be walled off. They expect this to be completely walled off, so they won't expect you to just be sitting behind a crack of it. So you can get a pretty cheeky fucking angle if you line it up perfectly, and you can take them extremely off guard by using this wall. So that is one very effective method of using this wall. So in summary, you can curve this wall. It gets stuck on props. It obscures your vision. But if you want to heal with it, you don't have to be standing directly in it. You can just stand next to it and it will still heal you. So is flashbangs, obviously the most beefy fucking part of his kit. Now these will blind you for about 1.5 seconds, but it's really about 1 second until you can actually fully see. And if you turn away, it's literally 0.2 seconds, which is insane. So you can turn away from these, and you can still be pretty effective with them. And you can still pretty effectively avoid them. Another thing to note, opposed to CS, these flashes don't actually go through smokes. Anything obscuring your vision from these flashbangs will completely negate the effects. If you literally step behind a smoke, you won't get flashed by it. Now, a couple things to note with this flashbang. Very important things to note with this flashbang are it has a particular curve to it. So if you are standing far enough away, it can just bounce off like that. And if you stand too close, they have a ton of time to react to it. So if you find the perfect distance, they don't have nearly as much time to react to it. They have much less time to react to that than they do to something like this. Now, another thing with these flashes is if you flash and you instantly peek, chances are, even if they're blind, they are just going to be spraying. So a lot of the times when you flash and you peek, you're just going to walk into a stream of bullets. Now, there are a couple of ways you can deal with this. One thing I have learned to do is to flash and wait the spray for a little bit and then peek. Or flash, and if they start spraying, I know they're flashed. Flash again, they'll be out of ammo almost completely, and you can just get the kill. Given you are wasting both of your flashbangs, well, you're not necessarily wasting your flashbangs, but you are using both your flashbangs to potentially secure one kill. So keep that in mind when you're using this and make your own judgment call. If you think you are going to die to a stream of bullets and you know he's not stopping anytime soon, throw another one and fucking deal with that shit. Another thing you can do is you can have a teammate lined up at your back and you can tell them you're gonna flash for them. So you can throw your flash and your teammate, right when that flashes, they can be lined up here and instantly peek with that. Okay, so another thing you can do is if you have a Sova on your team, I learned this actually, I believe, from Flom, but if you have a Sova on your team, what you can do is you can have your Sova recon it so you know you are flashing someone. If you recon it and you flash them, You know exactly where they are, you know what to pre-aim, or your teammates know what to pre-aim. That greatly affects the outcome of the potential fight that is coming up. So it is a very good strategy to combo with Sova. Another thing you can do that a lot of people don't know is you can actually flashbang vertically. Like, you can throw it over objects. Now, you have to be a little bit far away from them. Like, you can't be dick to ass with them, because if you are, it's just gonna bounce off the wall. And this can be useful for the most part. You can ricochet this shit and flash like that, like kind of flash it behind you, bank it, and then peek. But it's not always useful in situations like that. So you can flash this over, given a lot of the times you're gonna have to look down and then peek, like this. So you don't get nearly as blinded by the effects of it. And then you can peek out. But there are a lot of situations where you can just throw that shit over like that, and you can just swing on them. And a lot of the times when it's going vertically over an object, they have way less time to react, because by the time it actually clears that, it's pretty much not humanly possible to really react to something like that. So keep that one in mind as well, and just know that these flashbangs are only $100 a piece. So I recommend every single round, other than save rounds, even on save rounds, if you can afford it and you still have, like, if you have $2,200, buy the flashbangs. These flashbangs are the most important part of your kit. They are extremely useful, they are extremely cheap, and they have extreme uses for flashing your teammates in, flashing yourself in, and potential frags. Now, next up, we have easily one of the most busted fucking ultimates in this game. And this lasts for 10 full seconds, and in this 10 seconds, you are basically a fucking god. You go in and you basically get as many kills as you can with no repercussions whatsoever, other than the fact that you are using his ultimate. That is the only repercussion. Now, it takes about 1.3 seconds to actually recover from his ultimate, so make sure when you use his ultimate that you are in a very safe location, or your teammate is watching your spawn location, making sure that nobody sneaks up on you and game ends you. Okay, so one thing with the ultimate, you will not take any damage. No damage will actually be converted to you, but if you decide to ult and you have armor, the armor that you lose while using your ultimate, you will also lose on your player. I don't know if this is a glitch or if this is intended, but that's just the way it is currently in the current state of the closed beta game. So his ult is extremely useful in the fact that you can entry frag with absolutely no repercussions. Now, this is absolutely insane. If you want to go in first, you are the first person going into a bomb site, and if you die, it literally doesn't even fucking matter because you have another life. So you can literally walk in with your team behind you, and you can clear out any of these angles, and your teammates can trade for you. What I see a lot of Phoenix players doing is just using this ultimate independently, but its real strength lies in the fact that you can bring it into the bomb site with you, and you can have teammates trade it with you. It's insane. It's so good. Like, oh my god. I don't understand how a lot of people don't understand the fact that, yes, it's good used independently because you can just go in and frag the fuck out, but using it in coherence with your team, hands down, is one of the best ways you can use it. And also, do not be afraid to use this ultimate if you are in, like, say, a 1 versus 1 and you need to secure the round. It is a 6-charge ultimate. That comes back so fast. So fast. If you're a Phoenix player, you probably get a lot of kills. And kills lead to ult points. And make sure with Phoenix you are gathering the ult orbs, because you have one of the most impactful ultimates in the game. So keep that in mind when you're playing Phoenix, because his ultimate has so much impact on the rounds that it's actually used. So in summary, Phoenix is a very good player, and not only does he have insane frag potential, but he also has a lot of team potential, which a lot of people seem to overlook when looking at Phoenix as a character as a whole. His utility is all very useful. He has potential to wall off parts of the site. He has his own healing potential. He has an ultimate that literally allows him to go into sites with almost no repercussions whatsoever and gather intel and potentially get kills. Like, that alone cements him as one of the best characters in the game, I personally think. And not only that, but I also fucking forgot his Incense Grenade, which is a double-edged sword. Not only can you flush enemies out, but you can heal yourself with it. It is literally an incense that heals you, and you can have it every round. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So that's the end of the video. I hope you guys all enjoyed it. I got a little emotional towards the end because when I play this fucking character, I enjoy it so much because he's just a solid ass character to play. He's a good character. He really is. So if you learn how to play him and you play him properly with the team, and in the situations where you need to play him independently, you play that properly as well, and you learn this character, he is a very solid character to pick up. So yeah, if you enjoyed the video, leave a like. If you really enjoyed the video, I wouldn't mind a sub, but I mean, you don't have to. Anyways, I got more videos coming out, probably more tutorials like this, but generally I don't make a tutorial on a character until I played them for at least like 30-ish something hours. So my next one's probably going to be Cypher because I've been playing him a lot. So look forward to that. I will have an upload tomorrow. I'm not sure what it's on yet, but I always have daily uploads, at least for now. So that's not changing anytime soon.